Hey, everybody. Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Welcome to The Experience, live with Russ and Scott.
Special thank you to our sponsors, the Gillette Home Team of Keller Williams and Laura Gillette. For more information on their real estate services, go to teamgillette.com. And welcome to our new sponsor, Boson Hub. For all your digital marketing needs, whether it's SEO and content management or Google Ads, go to bosonhub.com.
Hey.
Here we are live on The Experience. And Scott,
I tell you.
You are coming from a remote bunker somewhere.
That's right. Yeah. 2 miles below the surface, sequestered somewhere, hidden. And what was really funny is, so I've got this nice gourmet hotel coffee, and the Wi-Fi, when I was testing the speed of the Wi-Fi last night to see, because upload video, right? You got to make sure that you've got the speed. Using my cell phone hotspot was faster than the hotel's internet. So anyway,
Wow.
Test these things. Make sure you are set and ready. But here we are. It is Wednesday. It's The Experience. We've got great guests today.
We do. We have Nancy Barrows and Lynn Catalano on with us today. But before we get to them, I want to just thank Sheree for being with us and Dr. Nupi Aurora, the glitter practitioner, on The Experience backstage at 6:30 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on Instagram. We always do that show before this. And we were having all kinds of fun trying to, again, I was having internet issues and getting everything going. So between Scott and I, we still made it. And that had, a lot of times we give video tips, and we needed the video tips today to get going on that. But it was a great day. Also, just want to remind everybody before we roll too far into the show, this is The Experience, live with Russ and Scott. We are here every Wednesday at 7 a.m. Pacific Daylight Time on LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube. We are here for you. Why? Because we bring you amazing guests. We are so blessed, just like today, with amazing people. They come and share the experience of life and their experience, all that they're up to. It is a great talk show, and we love bringing these people to you because they add so much value. Right, Scott?
Oh, absolutely. Every week we have the most remarkable people. Today, it's going to be a stellar experience. I was thinking as we were with Sheree broadcasting live on Instagram, and again, thank you to Dr. Nupi for being our sponsor for that. I was thinking, I was wanting to tell people, miss this show at your own peril.
Yes, well, for sure. There is so much, there's so much value in all that we're able to do because you and I are blessed with so many great friends, and we're going to jump right into it today. We can do some more wrap up on the back end. Just want to remind everybody, please hit the share button right now. Share this out. Share it with your friends. Tell everybody, come on in, tag your friends. Tell them, you know what, you do not want to miss Nancy and Lynn today. They're going to be amazing. And we're here every Wednesday, so you can keep joining us. Remember, you can subscribe on our YouTube page, and that is at the experience.video, right, Scott? And that's the easy way to do that. The
Yeah,
experience.video,
absolutely.
there it is. And you
Subscribe.
can, that's right.
Yep. Subscribe, hit
Subscribe,
the
subscribe,
little
subscribe.
bell. Yeah. And you can watch the past shows. We've had great guests. We are in season 4, Russ. I don't know how that happened.
It's shocking. It's shocking. But yeah, we just appreciate all you watching. Appreciate you engaging in the comments. The comments are already exploding this morning.
Yeah.
And so we'll be getting to that. But before we get to that, we're going to start our guests coming in because that's what we want to do. And the first one is Nancy Barrows, who's been it's such a blessing to us over the years. She's been a guest many times. Hello, Nancy.
Hello, and how are you? Good morning.
Yes, we are good.
So
we are
good to see
and
you.
we're so thankful to have you here today. You know, you are the queen of live stream. You do so many things. When I grow up, I want to be Nancy. So tell us a little bit about all that you're doing.
Well,
I want you to be Nancy too.
My first piece of advice is don't grow up. To tell you a little bit about me, I am a beautifully flawed human. I let everybody know that. I am about the power of showing up as you are, about radiating real in every moment, about finding your voice and using it comfortably to connect with your community. And as the chick with the tool belt, I have the privilege of helping people do that in their daily lives to create these incredibly connected communities and robust revenue streams and and that's all that I do. But as a person, my goal is to make people feel seen, heard, loved, and valued. And if I can do that, then I'm a really lucky woman. So that's the short end of it. You can find my bio all over the internet, but that's really what it's about.
Yeah, well, there is so much great information that you give to people, but the number one thing that I really love about what you do, Nancy, is you're talking to people about just really showing up, about being authentic, about really being the real you. And the Radiating Real movement, I think, has been amazing because people are looking for real people, right? They're looking for somebody who's just really them, not just somebody they're throwing up there and trying to make a character on social media, right?
Absolutely. And it's perfectly timed that I'm part of a Winnie Son's tweet chat today at 11 a.m. And it's all about authentic. And, one of the things that will be discussed is, the newer generations, like the newer models, they are demanding authenticity, right? From brands and from people, and how older generations really were of this, like, what happens behind closed doors is our business, right? We don't show that. And what we found over time was that it's unhealthy. It hurts people. It keeps us from being connected. It, limits our ability to be in this world in a meaningful way. As humans, we crave connection. We want to see one another succeed. And so our ability to take our masks off and be willing to be brave, because again, people will say you were so brave to share your story. And the reality is bravery came after. I did it fearful. You can be powerful, and that's okay. You can do so much fearful. But really the bravery and courage comes after, because afterwards I was receiving all this unconditional love and support from so many people that I knew that what I was doing was what I was meant to do, and that I was helping people. And, if you want to know the power of personal engagement, within 10 months of being on the LinkedIn platform, I was named one of the top 50 most impactful people by my peers. And that's incredible. Like that's a Cinderella story. That's all of our stories of when you show up and you're you, truly you, and experience how that feels, that you can't really stop. I have never had any client or person come to me and say, oh my gosh, I wish I hadn't radiated real. I want to take it all back. It just doesn't happen that way. And, it's because when you take that mask off, we remove so much. We remove the imposter syndrome, right? And there's nothing anybody's going to find out about me that I have to worry about if I'm sharing what matters to me. And really important that personal content is different than private content. That is usually the fear that holds people back because it's personal. Well, some things are, and radiating real is not telling every secret, because that's not real, that's not human, that's not who we are, it's not what we do. If you start telling everything, that's just as inauthentic, right, as only showing up with this perfectly pretty curated content. I'm all about making curated content the whole story. Like, let's see the ugly, snotty, unsexy side. And you guys know this. You've seen me. I show up in my bathrobe for live shows in the morning. I put pictures of myself when my makeup is running down my face, and I share when my depression is really keeping me from doing things I want to do. But I also celebrate, right? I show all of it, all the sides of it. And it's so important, because literally with, social media is a gift, but it really can be such a place of damaging our mental health if we're not using it with care and engaging in digital self-care, both for ourselves, but digital self-care is making sure that what you show is real.
Right.
Nancy, you're right, because every strength to an excess is a weakness, right?
Mm-hmm.
So social media can be a strength, but to an excess, then it's a weakness. Mm-hmm. And I love what you talk about, these real conversations, because research has shown that people are happier when they have meaningful conversations, not shallow conversations, not the, we don't really care about the weather. We don't care even about sports teams, maybe the Beavers.
Okay. Well, no, we do a little on that.
Russ and I care about that.
UCLA Bruins.
That's a deep conversation. But
it's a passionate
anyway, you want to
one.
have those deep conversations, because that's where we have more connection. And as you said, that's what we want. We want that deep connection.
Right.
We get to connect on a deeper level when we're willing to show up and be vulnerable with one another, right? That's the whole thing. And I mean, I can have a deep conversation because I'm passionate about the UCLA Bruins and the Yankees, but it's really, I joke, like, I'm not good at cocktail parties anymore. That like, hi, how are you? I used to be great at the, there he goes. Come on, come back, D. Scott, you got this. I used to be great, and I still can do the small talk, but it's not satisfying to me, just like D. Scott was saying, in the way it maybe once was. And then I was happy to stay surface, right, and not get to know people, or show up as not me. And that's just, once I made the commitment to be 100% committed to being 100% me 100% of the time, things really change for the positive. And that's what I want people to experience. And Connected Human Conversations, my show, that I do live, is all about talking about what's on everybody's mind, but that we've been told we're not supposed to talk about. We're not supposed to have those conversations. I thought I was failing at divorce at one point, because even my closest friends didn't share what they were really going through in that experience. And so being through what I've been through my entire life, and learning what I've learned from my experience and the experience of others, it's just become time to take off that mask and show up real. It's important for our personal interconnections. It's important for our business connections. We want to do business with people that understand when we're running late, because living life is what's happening, right? We're human and we're living life. So for me, that's usually the cat puking on the way out the door, right, as I'm stepping out the door. But because I'm lucky like that. I mean, listen, life is hard for these critters. But
there you go.
But that's the idea, is like, I want to do business with people who, if I'm running late because I've been living life, or I've had a human moment, they understand. And it's going from just knowing, like, to understanding. Like, I know, or I understand. Like, if you've been there and you've had the experience, well, then it becomes a different level of connection and a different place of grace for us to have for ourselves and one another.
Right. Well, and I couldn't agree with that more. And speaking of wonderful connections and additional guests on the experience of life, we need to bring Lynn in the room, because she's ready to roll. Good morning, Lynn.
Good morning, Lynn.
Thank you so much for having me today.
Well, it is
great to see you, Lynn.
Nice to see you, Scott.
So great to have you here, Lynn. Hey, give everybody a little snapshot of who is Lynn.
So listening to Nancy, it's so interesting, because I believe everything, and I agree with everything that Nancy is saying. But I've been through a different experience. I didn't know what was happening to me, and I realized after quite a while that I was suffering from narcissistic abuse. And this was such a specific area. And I had no idea what it was or the symptoms or who my narcissist really was. And so I'm an attorney by education. I dug right into it. And what I found was that there are millions of people out there suffering from the same thing. And the more I tell my story and the more I talk about it, the more people contact me and relate to me. And so I feel like all of a sudden I've taken, the lemons that I was given and I've made lemonade because I'm actually finding purpose in helping people through this journey.
Well, it's interesting because the whole big word you used there, purpose, and then the second word, journey, I think those are so critical. Scott, I think you would agree that we need to live our lives on purpose and with purpose. And it's a journey. And we have, just like Nancy's talked about before too, we have the ups and downs of life. We have the good and the bad. It is a journey that we are better together going through, right, Scott? And Scott is frozen. So, but he
it's a
looks
very
good.
profound
That was very profound, Scott. You were frozen. But anyway, are you there, Scott? No, he's still not there. Okay. So anyway,
I hope I'm here.
There you are. All right. Oh no, Scott's not there. Okay. So Nancy, real quickly, I mean, you and Lynn have known each other for a while, right?
No, actually, we just met recently through B
okay.
Scott, and we've messaged back and forth. This is our first e-meet.
Oh, there you go. Well, that's
It's
awesome.
like as Lynn's talking, I'm over here like typing, "Go girl, go!" Because like that's it. That's the I came on LinkedIn and shared my story. And for those of you who don't know it, take it in how you need to, have any reaction you want because it's hard to receive. But a week after getting on LinkedIn, I started telling my story of like I was talking about childhood abuse, childhood trauma, and finally I realized, Nancy, you're part of the problem. If you won't say the words, who is going to talk about this? I had been sexually abused by my grandfather till I was 16 years old, and people don't talk about that. And so just like you, I realized like you look at the statistics, the numbers are staggering, and those are the people who say yes, they raise their hand when they're asked in this random survey. And so as I started sharing my story, and it gives me chills every time because you share your story trusting that you're helping people. And when people reach out to you, and Lynn, I'm sure you experience this, when people reach out to you and say, you've helped me, you've inspired me, I'm now XYZ, right? Things have changed. It's a privilege. It's such a privilege and a gift to be given. And people were talking about like, I've never told anyone this before, and entrusting me with their stories. And that's huge. And the people I spoke to, the more I talked about my story and the people I spoke to and worked with, that's how Chick with the Tool Belt came about, right? That was all me taking these tools out of my belt saying, hey, you can do this. Let's find your voice together. Let's get past those fears. Let's figure out how to radiate real and, be out there sharing your story, because we each have an impactful, powerful story that's going to have a positive impact on someone, and most likely more than one someone. And so that was, again, I'm a speech language pathologist by training. I'm going to run off to school in just a few minutes because that's what I do. Who I am, my passion and my purpose is what I found from sharing my story. And it's so powerful. And I'm so, come on, Dr. Nupe, you feel the fizz essence is happening. And I can't say pants the right way. Otherwise I would say fizz pop kitty pants, but it's so invigorating to me, and it nourishes my soul to know that I can help others. And when I hear people like you, Lynn, right, that have had the same experience, I know unequivocally that I'm on the right path, that I have found where I'm supposed to be. And it just gives me chills every time. Every time. Yeah. I will never take for granted the gift that I have been given in what I do.
It is a blessing what we have. And Lynn, take it from there. I mean, I see you nodding. Go for it.
Well, it's interesting. So in the middle of my search for answers, I was constantly writing, and I was writing down what was happening to me. And then I started interviewing other people who had had different situations with different narcissists. And by that, I mean, my narcissist is my father. But for other people, it was a romantic partner, or it was a sibling, or a boss, or a friend. And so, as I compiled these, I built the book that I was looking for, because all I wanted was kind of a roadmap or a guidebook to say, hey, this is what you're experiencing, and it's going to be okay, because what you're experiencing is not normal. So you're right to think twice about it. And you need to protect your mental health and go through these steps. And I think that guide would have helped me so much. It would have saved me so much time. But now I've written that book for other people to utilize. And as I continue to speak to people, I'm now coaching victims of narcissistic abuse. And I can't tell you how gratifying it is to help people identify what their issues are and actually help them.
Right. And
That's one of the things we
feel like-
love. Yeah. It's just
Go
one
ahead,
of the
Scott.
things we love about all of the guests that we have, Lynn and Nancy, is that we always have people like you, people who choose to live a life that makes a difference.
Yeah. And, Lynn, one thing you were saying too, I'm thinking so many people think that they're just alone, right?
Mhm.
And when they have you or Nancy, people coming and saying, yeah, you're not alone. It doesn't matter what you're going through. I mean, I love your message. You can make it, right? Talk more about that, Lynn.
Well, so, it's interesting, because one of the side effects of this type of abuse is that you feel completely isolated, and you feel like you're the only one suffering from this type of abuse. And so it's so comforting to either read someone else's story or to see videos of people talking about this type of thing and know that you are not alone and you
Right.
didn't do anything to deserve this, and that there are resources out there for you to help you and to guide you on this journey.
Right. And that is so great. Such a great message. Nancy, we're going to let you wrap up because I know you have to get going before the show is over. So give us your last words and remind everybody how they get in touch with you.
Absolutely. So I love, again, I don't need to say anything. Lynn has said everything that my heart would want to say, but of course I'm a speech language pathologist, so I'm going to keep talking. But I love that truly when we share, it normalizes an abnormal experience, and it allows us to not feel alone and not feel like all the thoughts, and I know, Lynn, you went through this, and I've been in a narcissistic relationship. So as you're talking about this, I'm like, gosh, you're so right. Like trying to get back that perfect that was in the beginning, that was never real. And had I known more about how this worked, what would I have done? Right. Again, but this normalizing these not okay situations, not to make the situations okay, but to make it okay to talk about it and feel what you're feeling is so important. So very important. And, I totally resonate. I say all the time when I speak, if I would have seen me here today when I was 20 years old, I would have flipped me off and had some really colorful words for me, because look at you, you're doing great, you're doing fine. You don't understand, you don't get it. I'm never going to get there. I remember a therapist saying to me, it's like, just trust me, there's a piece of chocolate cake on an island, you're swimming to it and you're going to get to the cake. And I'm like, what if I don't care that much about the cake? Like, I don't believe, right, that the sharks aren't going to eat me on the way. And it's so important to have someone who is a few steps ahead of you to give you hope. And it's always great when you are the person who's a few steps behind to see someone who's doing it and for them to be sharing how they did it. Now, you may not do it exactly the same way. And again, check with the tool belt. It's a matter of finding your tools, what works for you. But one of the most important things is owning our truth and understanding what it's left us with, what we've owned that's not ours, so that we can move past it and we can help others do the same. It's really, I know it would have been an F-bomb. I was good. It's early morning. But for me, I can go on and on, as you know, about all of this, but instead what I will do is tell you all where you can find me. So my home is really LinkedIn. So you can find me here on LinkedIn. It's where I'm most active. It's where you'll see most of my content. It's where I'm live. But of course I maintain Facebook and Twitter and Instagram and all of them. And, you can find my email and you can send me smoke signals and, you can sign up on Calendly. And I know this is all going into the comments for a free 15-minute consultation. Let's talk about where you're at and where you want to be and see if there's some way that I can support you, when you feel ready. Because when you feel ready, again, people are like, what's your perfect client? I'm like, anyone who's ready, who wants to do the work, who wants to change, that's the perfect client. And so you can do all of that. You can always reach out to any of these people, and I'll put it on D. Scott and Russ, because they know where to find me and they can always put you in touch with me. So there you have it. I am so grateful always for the opportunity to be here with you guys, with everyone here in the comments, this beautiful community. To Lynn, you have invigorated my day. I'm going to be like buzzing and running to work, floating the entire day. Thank you so much. And thank you, D. Scott, for connecting us and for all the wonderful things that you guys do here on The Experience. And last thing I'm going to remind everyone is you do not apologize for living life and being human. If I can teach people that,
Well, we appreciate you so much. And I was just seconds away from saying, we're going to do what Nancy and Brian would do on Shout Out Saturday and do a couple screenshots. Oh, good. Scott's back. Here we go. So we're going to do a couple fun things. Ready? Screenshot time. Everybody. So Ever is in the background going, thank God they're giving me something that I can use. Okay. So,
I hope she got the one that I was, because,
Well, that's the beautiful thing about replay. There you go. And speaking of Brian, just before you leave, he is here. Woohoo. All right, Brian. Great to see you.
There is somebody that shows up for their community over and over. There's so many of us. Please get connected. If you're not connected with anyone here on screen or anyone in the comments, get connected. This is a beautiful, wonderful, supportive community to be a part of. And I am so grateful.
Thanks, Nancy. We're going to say goodbye to you because we know you got to run.
Thank you, Nancy.
Have an awesome day. We'll see you later.
Bye, everyone.
And I want to encourage everybody as Nancy goes to make sure, we're going to tell you this again at the end, but make sure and connect with Nancy. Make sure and connect with Lynn, because that is what this is all about. It's all about bringing a community, bringing connection together, because we are better together. Right, Scott?
Absolutely. And Brian does such a great job of that with his Wednesday and Saturday shows. I encourage everyone, follow him, attend the shows, and
That's right.
You'll connect to some of the best people in the world.
Absolutely. And Brian and Nancy are on those together. Shout Out Saturday, What's Good Wednesday. And it is all about community. And so I just think that's amazing. Lynn, we want to bounce back to you because we really want to get your last comments, and take your time. It's not, but let us know just a little bit more in depth about what you want people to really know. And then, because we want people to reach out to you after this show. So go for it.
Well, thank you. Russ and Scott, Nancy said something really interesting in passing. And I'm a firm believer in representation. And, representation means from everyone on the planet being able to see people in different roles. And so from that being different shapes, colors, sizes, genders, religions, backgrounds, ethnicities, everything, to being able to normalize people being honest about mental illness. And I think that is so important. And beyond that, I think it's really important to be able to talk about your experience and what happened to you. And for me, that was about coming forward and saying, yeah, things look great, but guess what? I was suffering this whole time and I didn't know what was happening to me. And as a result of that, I learned a lot about narcissistic abuse. And now I am really an authority on this area. I only help people who have suffered from this abuse. I do not coach people within any other area because this is where I know, some expertise about. So I've written a book. It's called Wrecking Ball Relationships: How to Identify, Live with, or Leave the Narcissist in Your Life. And it's available on Amazon and BarnesandNoble.com. Scott did an incredible live show with me, which I was very appreciative about for the launch of that book. But also, I speak about raising your emotional intelligence, whether that's in your personal life or in your in the workplace. Emotional intelligence, I believe, is the antidote to narcissism. Narcissists have very low emotional intelligence, and they are not able to exhibit empathy, which is one of the largest components of emotional intelligence. So what is the answer for all of us to build better relationships and have larger networks and be better people in our current relationships? Emotional intelligence. Absolutely. Learning to listen reflectively. Actually listening to hear what the other person is saying and absorb it and respond in a timely manner. Not listening just to respond. Being able to exhibit mutual respect and understanding that other people have emotions and feelings, and that we need to be thoughtful and strategic in how we continue to exist and coexist peacefully. I believe that emotional intelligence certainly is the antidote, as I said, to all of those things. And I love to help people who are discovering that they're in a toxic relationship and that they need help. Because if you're in a toxic relationship, you have suffered. You have suffered some kind of post-traumatic stress. You have suffered, your stress levels are up. It affects your physical and your mental health, and you need to pay attention to that. So whether you're in a toxic relationship or you've just ended one, you really need to talk to someone and work through that trauma, because healthy relationships do exist and you deserve better. You didn't do anything to deserve this toxic relationship. So please know you are not alone. And please come and find me. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn. I post just about every day. I'm at Lynn Catalano, and I know Russ has got my link there running on the bottom. But I'm also on every other social media platform. So I'm on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok and Twitter. And I post with frequency on all of those. I'm at Lynn Catalano Speaks on most of those. And please come to my website, and you can find all of that on my LinkedIn profile. Thank you so much.
Before you go, and I may have missed this while my internet was pulsing and doing mischief out there. Disney, you talked about a great example of this. And maybe you want to, maybe if you didn't, just share a moment so people can kind of get a glimpse of what this is like.
So I think you're referencing, first of all, you and I are huge Disney fans, right? We now I live on the East Coast, so we go to Disney World every year. I know you guys are on the West Coast, so I imagine you're more Disneyland people. But I love Disney. I find that as a corporation, as a company, they certainly have very high emotional intelligence. I think that's what you're talking about, Scott. Am I right?
Well, there was a particular movie that exemplifies that, isn't it?
I'm totally drawing
Mother
a blank.
Gottschall.
Oh. So I do use Tangled as an example in my book of the true example of gaslighting, which, it's hard being a Disney fan. And I got to tell you, the music in Tangled is phenomenal. But when you look at the story, you realize what an incredible example of someone gaslighting someone else. And so this mother Gottschall that kidnapped Rapunzel from her parents and raised her, she made her think, oh, you don't want to go outside in that nasty area. It's dangerous and dirty, and you need to stay here. And she gives her all the reasons why it's better, and she knows best. So, listen, they say it in song, sounds real good, but it's still gaslighting.
Right. Yeah. Well, you know what, Lynn, it's such a blessing and so refreshing to have you on this morning, and just for people to know what a resource you are. And you are such a, wow, such a genuine person. Who wouldn't want to work with you? That's what I gotta say. So, listen, everybody, get out and buy Lynn's book. Connect with her. All of the connection links today are in the comments and the show notes. They are clickable. What does that mean? Click on your computer, you're there. You're connected with Lynn. Click, you're connected with Nancy. How hard can that really be, right? Also, if you're watching this on replay, do us a big favor. Still share this out. Let people know that they get great content. They can listen to Lynn and Nancy and all the great wisdom that they have. Also, please don't forget, please subscribe to our YouTube page. We had told you about that before, but just want to remind you, please subscribe. You can go to theexperience.video. There it is. I knew I'd find it. And you can connect to that. Please subscribe, and you'll get all past content as well as notices on future content. So we appreciate that. And Lynn, we're going to just say a big, huge thank you and say goodbye to you, but hang tight in the green room. Scott and I'll be right there. Thanks again.
All right. Thank you, Lynn.
Oh,
Another
my goodness.
fabulous show.
As usual. Oh, my goodness. Wow.
So much helpful. So helpful.
Yeah. And, you know, I just want to tell you that if you ever have issues or need a connection bridge, Scott and I would love to do that. If you'd like to say, well, I really want to reach out to Lynn, but I don't want to do it on my own because I'm afraid.
Yeah.
Go to russhedge.com or my LinkedIn page. Go to dscottsmith.com or his LinkedIn page. Connect with us. We'll do an introduction for you. We'll help you
We
out.
love making introductions. That's a highlight.
Yeah.
It's a daily highlight. Yeah.
Well, that's what we're all about. We're all about connecting, and we are definitely better together. What you have heard today, whether you are suffering through a narcissistic relationship, whether you are suffering through any kind of abuse, or whether you are happy and life is fabulous, you have heard such great information today from such amazing people that you should connect with, because you may not have a need for their services, but you may know people. Well, we all know people that do, if you're not going through it. So listen, we would love to be that bridge. We'd love to connect you. Remember, russhedge.com and dscottsmith.com is a way to get in touch with us, and we love to do that. Scott, give everybody a quick wrap up of what you've got coming up here.
Yeah, so coming up at 9 a.m. over on LinkedIn on Christine Smith's page. So it's linkedin.com/in/Christine-Smith. It is unscripted conversations around the aspects of aging. I get to produce that. You won't want to miss that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also, Scott, don't you have something else coming up? You have a book thing coming up, don't you, or something?
Yes. So I and Veronica Jeans are in the process of finalizing the book Freeze: Inaction in the Face of Business Crisis. What we have seen is that so many business owners, when crisis happens, like pandemic, like the current economic situations, like the Great Recession, and all of these other things that happen, big and small. Sometimes it's just your business lease isn't renewed, or you have a key employee that leaves. What do you do? How do you prepare for that? Well, Freeze is the book for you. It is coming out. It's going to be in pre-release soon.
And that is awesome. That is so awesome. The great thing about you, Scott, is you always inspire me with all you're doing. I just want to remind everybody that we want to connect with you. So again, dscottsmith.com, russhedge.com, and I've got an upcoming workshop on the 21st at noon this month called Successfully Transform Your Business in 3 Simple Steps. They're not easy, but they're simple. And if
Not
you
easy.
want to
Not
learn
easy.
how to connect and build community and do some of the great things we've been talking about today, you need to take that course. And I would love to have you in as part of that. So with that, I think we're going to sign off for today. I've got to be the responsible host and wrap us up. But I am so excited that you were able to make it through the internet challenges. And with Kermit, we're going to say goodbye. Everybody, thanks so much. Thank you for joining us. And remember, enjoy the experience. And, oh, I messed up the ending. There you go. Have a great day and a great life. And
miss the experience at your own peril.
see you guys.
Thanks for tuning in to The Experience Live with Russ and Scott. If you enjoyed today's show, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or subscribe on YouTube. See you next time.